guys, welcome back to the channel. And hopefully you caught my last video, which was me telling you guys about the frame and why I switched, but here we are. This is the new dirt jumper that I have. So yeah, this is just going to be me talking about it. And as you can see, I'm at a skate park that's in Roanoke, Virginia. Actually just got off work, so I figured why not come and take it on its maiden voyage and let's film a video and talk about it. So first things first, this is a 2021 Octane 1 Zircus frame. As you've already seen, hopefully you have seen that. I went over the frame and why we chose this and why it's modern and stuff like that. And I also have an old bike check, which was my red dirt jumper. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But today we're going to go ahead and just go over some parts, and yeah, so let's get started. So first things first, we're going to start, let's just start with the front here. So I am running a very off-brand handlebar. They are, I believe they're honestly Amazon special bars, no big deal. I just wanted something with the rise to try out, and they've just kind of been hanging around. There's no really need to change them, so I'm not going to yet. I am running a Shimano MT200 rear brake only with the hose that isn't routed right like it should yet. I am also running the Manitou Zircus Expert fork, which is set at 100 millimeters with the 20x110 axle, which just a little bit of test riding that I've done, it feels really good. This is a 2020, so it is a little older, but it's practically brand new, so figured it would do the trick. And as you can see, of course, I am running the tan walls again. These are the Maxxis DTH, which for what I'm doing with it, they perform really well, and yeah, they look really good with this blue color on the frame. And the other thing that I'm really happy with is these Halo T2 wheels. So Halo makes a lot of good options. You might know from Sam Pilgrim running the Halo Chaos wheels. They make very, very strong wheels, and these wheels are, you know, no exception for the cost. So I believe in the wheel set I have about $300, and that includes the end caps and the cog for the rear as well. So realistically, it's not a bad price for a great set of quality wheels, even though the price is on the lower end. But I have no doubt in my mind that these are going to hold up great for what I'm doing, and I'm really, really excited to ride these. This is turned out really good with these tires and these rims, so yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm also running the ever still popular Rogue grips I would run on my GT as well, and these are pretty new. I actually just got this rubber right before I bought this frame, and I've been real happy with these as always. Paired with a good set of gloves, they're wonderful. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for the front. The fork is a pretty standard dirt jumper fork. It's, you know, it does its job, and that's what it's meant to do. So yeah, let's go into the middle section and take a look at that. Alright guys, so on to the middle section here. So as you can see, I am using SRAM SX cranks. These cranks are the lower end model for SRAM, which is perfectly fine. They actually utilize the dub spindle, which is the thicker spindle over Shimano's 24 millimeter standard. So I have the you know, the rigidity right there in the center as well. I'm also using the Kona Wawa 2 composite pedals with longer pins. So these pins are actually aftermarket pins, and just wanted something a little longer to grip into my 510s that I use. And hopefully you can see here, this is actually the seat post clamp. Not that that is important, but it's the seat post clamp from my Haro. So when I first started getting into mountain biking and stuff, I had an older enduro bike, and bought this as one of the custom options. But when I sold it, I pulled it off just because, and it actually ended up working with, you know, the colors of everything else. So I said, screw it, that's great, we'll just use it. So yeah, so now that it's, you know, it's incorporated with everything, and I've learned from that bike a lot and everything. So here you can also see that I am running the Fiend saddle, which actually is going to be, or seat, actually is going to be changed out pretty soon. I have a birthday coming up, and I'm hoping to get a new seat, which is going to really set up, you know, the whole centerpiece of the bike. I'm not 100% sure on the post, but this is a pivotal seat, which means if you're new to dirt jumping like I was, has a bolt through the middle that you can tilt it. It's common on BMX bikes. But that's pretty much it with the middle here. I'm using a dub bottom bracket too. It's just a 68 millimeter threaded bottom bracket, and The chain isn't anything special right now. I actually had an issue fitting my KMC single speed chain, which is a little beefier chain. This is actually just a Walmart chain, funny enough. It worked for now until I can get the new chain. I currently am looking at getting a half link, so it's actually honestly just half of a full link chain, and it allows me to adjust the wheelbase and tension on the chain a little easier than with these full links. So once I get that, I'm hoping to do a video about me installing it, setting it up and everything, because I am going to be using chain tensioners on the rear. I just couldn't with this full link, so right now it's just bolted on. But speaking of bolted on rear, let's take it to the rear and check it out. Alright, so again, talking about the rear here. So I'm running the Halo T2 on the back along with the DTH on the rear as well. I'm actually running a Ridgeline hub, which is why the T2s are a little bit cheaper, because they use a different hub than the Chaos. But this is a big, beefy 36-hole wheel, and it'll take any abuse that I'm going to be giving it anyway. Using a standard Shimano basic rotor, which everything's going to get changed once I get the new brake. That way everything's new and fresh and ready to go. Like I said, these are a bolt-on axles, so these wheels are pretty common with BMX wheels, and they also have the dropouts like a BMX bike. So it's basically just a very large BMX bike. Take everything into account here. So technically supposed to use, not technically, the manual for this frame says you don't have to, but in order to just make it easier for tensioning and everything else, I am going to be using chain tensioners that attach here, and what they do is they pull on this solid axle just a little bit to make this chain tight and everything. So just makes it easier to install and uninstall and take the chain on and off whenever you need to. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it for the rear. Pretty simple setup for a dirt jumper anyway. And yeah, I run 60 PSI for parks and a little bit more at 65 on the street when I'm like going places and stuff like that. But yeah, so guys, I hope you enjoyed the bike check of the new dirt jumper. Super excited to get to ride it. Yeah, it's pretty much, some of the parts are from the old one, so if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. But yeah, I'm gonna get to ride it. I haven't even gotten on it yet. I figured I'd make the video while it's still nice and fresh and brand new. Again, this was my Christmas present, so I'm super excited that I got to build another bike. So again, if you watch this, thank you. There's definitely some videos and stuff coming out of it, and I'm excited to get to ride it. So again, thanks. Get out there and have a good time, and we'll catch you guys later. See you.